What up, everybody? Zeta Zulu back at it again with another review for you. And today we'll be looking at the SH Figuarts R.Mika from Street Fighter V. And I picked this figure up at Fanime Con in San Jose, California this year in May. And she was one of those pickups where I saw her and I was like, yeah, I've been putting it off. I kind of need that. So this figure is just chock full of good posability, because one of the things that they're advertising with this Street Fighter line of Figuarts is the ability to be able to replicate just about anything she can do in game. So that's pretty awesome. And she comes with not a whole lot, but she comes with a fair amount of hands, some effect parts, and a couple faces and a microphone. So we'll get to those after we go through her articulation real quick. So we'll start on her hair. These are on, I want to say ball joints, but they basically rotate all the way around, and they can go in and out a little bit, but it's more tilt in her head. Her head can essentially rotate 360. It can look up really far and look down pretty far due to her having essentially a ball joint hinge at the neck, and what I would assume is probably just another ball joint in her chest. So she gets a great range of motion in her head. Her shoulders, they can come forward a little bit and back a little bit. They're on a ball joint in there. They can go out pretty far. There is a rotation at the ball joint at the shoulder. There's no kind of bicep rotation. You get a double jointed elbow, which goes a little bit over the 90-degree range, and it's got good detail on it for just an elbow joint. The wrist is on your standard, let me focus a little bit, standard kind of Figuarts wrist joint, where it's two ball joints and then it's hinged, so you can get any range of motion depending on which way you turn that ball jointed hinge. Her chest is done pretty well for her posability. Let me refocus on that. So you can get really far forward, since there's kind of two-ish hinges going on in here, ball joint hinges or whatever, and you can get really far back. It starts to look a little bit weird with the gaps that get shown up, but that has a really far arcing back, and that's really good. You do get rotation at the top of her chest, essentially. You don't get anything waist rotation wise. For her legs, the thighs and the glutes are basically sculpted all together, so you get forward, you get your back, you get your in and out, and as you can see, this is her entire kind of crotch area is just rubbery plastic, so it can flex and bend as it needs to. There's a little bit of a thigh rotation there. It's really limited though. Trying to see if it had kind of the pull down hinges. It doesn't, but you get the double jointed knee, which works really well. That is a great bend of that. And then the feet can go down, up, rotate, and pivot. And then you also get a nice toe hinge. So she has a lot of really good posability that can get her into a lot of good poses for wrestling and things of that nature, and just fighting in general. But because you don't have thigh soles that are easy to use, it can be a bit challenging to get certain things, but you can get her into nice poses and she can basically stand in them. Oop, slid down a little bit. So we'll go over her accessories real quick. She comes with, if I can get them out of their tray. Yeah, I said keep accessories in the tray. It's a lot easier to get to them. She comes with two interchangeable faces. One smiling, looking off to the side, and the other is a yelling face. So she can either be yelling at somebody or yelling while she's doing some of her wrestling moves and shit. It's real nice, and it's easy to swap off faces. We'll swap into the yelling one real quick. We'll just get her back to a neutral position. So kind of just pull the face off. Pretty easy. You can see where the ball joints kind of are in her hair. And then you just swap the other one on. And now she has a different facial expression, which looks really good. Like, the detail all over this figure is just astounding. It really represents her design really well. And then for hands, boy howdy, she has a good amount of them. So, actually, you know what? I'll just dump it all out. So we can just get to it real quick, real easy. So, you get a left and right pointing hand, pointing fingers, hands, whatever. So, she can basically call somebody out, essentially. You get basically just like ready to grab you hands. These are for helping to simulate her, her standby animation before you like do inputs in game and stuff. Oh, come on. Focus on the hands. Alright, there we go. You get 2 open hands, just splayed out open. Rather nice. Pretty good detail in them. And then you get this hand, which is for holding one of her last accessories, her microphone. You know how wrestlers take the mic, speak up, all this other good stuff. Call out people for being whack and shit. So, swap her hand, it's real easy. Just take one hand off. And then you just pop the other one onto the ball joint. And ta-da. Way easier than last review. So now she's got her microphone, talking that hot shit. Actually, gonna swap out into a pointing hand. Just so you can see it's easy to swap out both. And be able to see that if I was doing it on camera. Come on, there we go. There we go. Now she's calling out the crowd for being jive turkeys or something like that. Now her last bit of accessories are these clear yellow effect parts, and that's to replicate like kind of the hit effects going on, like when she slams somebody or whatever. So like get it going on over here. Looks pretty good. They make a great example of how it's to be used on the back of the box. Right there. You see how she's slamming Ryu down, slamming on top of him. See the little shockwave effects going on. Pretty cool. So that's basically everything she comes with and all her articulation and everything. So the last thing we'll do is some size comparisons. So first off, another female Figuarts mold. The SH Figuarts Sailor Moon. This is the normal version of her. And I think these two look pretty cool together since they both rock the twin pigtails. Just a little bit differently. They're both blonde. And now with another Capcom character, which I would love to be able to do this, have Mega Man X with her. He is a bit shorter than her, which seems accurate. Like, I think on the back of the box it says she's like 5'6", and this figure is pretty big for someone that's supposed to be 5'6", and I think X is probably about to be technically like 5'4" or something like that. So this seems kind of accurate. So that looks real good. And then here's her at the standard Figma, standard size Figma Tracer, and she's even taller than Tracer. And I think Tracer's supposed to be not super short, maybe like 5'6" in general or something like that in game. I don't know, I can check later. Maybe put that in post editing. So yeah, this was SH Figuarts R.Mika. Definitely a figure I was looking forward to coming out, and I'm glad I was able to find it at Fanime so I could pick it up. There's like a few other figures I'll show off for my fan anime haul. There's like a Kamen Rider thing that I got, but I need a driver for that. But yeah, so this is Zeta Zulu signing out, and deuces.